Hello everyone and welcome back to Scandinavian Design 101. I'm Sanna.
I'm Andreas and we're two Swedes and we love design. Mm-hmm. And this week we're going to show you the lamps designed by Poul Henningsen in collaboration with his colleague Knud Sørensen for the 1925 Paris World's Fair. Yeah. All these lamps are quite forgotten today, but they were definitely the embryo of the well-known three-shade lamp system developed by Henningsen somewhat later. But let's get started.
Yeah. We will begin 2 years prior to the exhibition. In 1923, the architect Kåre Klint was commissioned to redesign the Thorvaldsen Art Museum in Copenhagen. Soon he contacted Henningsen asking him to design a lamp for the project. Sketches for a new type of pendant lamp was made at the Henningsen design studio the same winter. This first prototype remained a sketch, but it was clearly intended to be constructed from several shades mounted on top of each other.
Sadly, Klint was removed from the Thorvaldsen project and suddenly no lamps were needed anymore.
Why?
Yeah, he took too long time. Nothing happened.
Oh,
so yeah.
Well, that's bad.
Yeah, but at the Henningsen studio, the development continued nevertheless. And in the spring of 1924, yet another sketch was made. The lamp developed by Henningsen in collaboration with the employee Knud Sørensen was a technically advanced construction made from several reflecting shades. The prototype was later named Type 2B. Strange name, but yeah. The goal was to construct a non-blinding lamp that spread the light evenly in the room. The two bottom shades were supposed to light up the floor and the lower part of the walls, while the top shades were supposed to give a soft light on the upper part of the walls. They managed this, but the result was far from perfect. Since each shade lit up a specific part of the room, it resulted in a blinding lamp. When looking at it, only one shade was bright at a time. I mean, if you mowed around, you saw just one part of the lamp shining and the rest of the lamp was dark.
Yeah, okay.
And the result was very bright, one very bright shade.
You got blind.
Yeah.
Okay, I get it. And to solve this problem, Henningsen and Sørensen developed yet another lamp, later named Type 2A.
Yeah.
Strange.
Yeah, and they throw it around because this is A and the first one was B. Yeah.
Kind of silly. The problem to solve was to make several of the shades to shine at the same time. The number of shades were increased from 4 to 8, so it's even harder to do that.
Yeah.
And the result was a globe-shaped lamp similar to some of the well-known lamps designed by Henningsen some decades later. Both these models remained sketches and were never produced.
No. And simultaneously, Henningsen and Sørensen also developed a series of 3 pendant lamps and 3 matching table lamps. The first lamp had 3 shades, the second lamp 2 shades, and the third lamp only 1 shade. The 3 models differed quite a bit when it came to light characteristics, and should probably be considered a stage in the experimentation rather than finished products.
In the summer of 1924, it was decided that Denmark would attend the 1925 Paris World's Fair. The new lamps by Henningsen and Sørensen were perfect for the exhibition, but they urgently needed a company willing to produce them. Henningsen met up with the owner of Louis Poulsen, Sofus Kåstrup Olsen?
Ja, Kåstrup Olsen.
Yeah, in the early summer of 1924 to discuss the matter. Sadly, as it turned out, the 2 pendant lamps type 2A and B simply weren't good enough when the technician at Louis Poulsen took a closer look at the sketches. But there was no time to redesign the lamps, and Henningsen decided to send the already existing sketches to the committee responsible for the Danish attendance at the exhibition. The committee soon announced that Henningsen was chosen to attend the exhibition, and time was suddenly very short. In no more than 6 months, functional lamps were to be delivered to Paris.
Yeah, and that's a short time to develop new lamps. It was soon decided that the 2 prototypes were to be developed into a new lamp, combining the good elements from the 2. Henningsen traveled to Brussels to escape the stress at the Copenhagen studio. Instead of constantly being interrupted by other tasks, he could fully concentrate on the lamps.
Yeah.
In time for Christmas, he was joined by Sørensen, and soon a new lamp started to take shape. After a lot of failed experiments, the Paris lamp was born in January of 1925. It had 6 mirror-reflecting shades made from silver-plated metal and was to be produced in 3 different sizes, 40, 60 and 70 centimeters. The Paris lamp was to be exhibited at the Louis Poulsen stand, but also to be used as main light source in the Danish exhibition hall.
Henningsen and Sørensen designed yet another lamp for the exhibition. The 2 men were asked to produce a monumental pendant for the Danish National Pavilion to the representative building designed by architect Kai Fisker. The result was the 1-meter Paris globe, constructed from 12 silver-plated shades, forming an enormous, shiny sphere.
Yeah,
that is cool.
Yeah.
It's interesting to compare this lamp with the globe-shaped lamps designed by Henningsen some decades later.
Yeah, they are very similar. The Paris lamp, as well as the globe lamp, was finished in January, and the drawings were sent to Louis Poulsen in Copenhagen to be produced. The sub-supplier Lauritz Henriksen's Metallvarefabrik was chosen as manufacturer, and production started.
So Louis Poulsen did not actually
produce them. No, they didn't produce any lamps by Poul Henningsen, actually, not even the 3-shade lamps. They were produced in...
But why did he need them then?
He needed like this large sub-supplier or large company to promote the lamps, actually. But, for example, glass shades for Henningsen lamps were produced in Germany as well as Sweden, actually. And at the time, both Henningsen and Sørensen lived in Paris to be able to prepare for the exhibition. And the preparations went well, except for one small obstacle. Henningsen had done a minor miscalculation when hanging the Paris lamps in the exhibition rooms. He ended up missing 4 lamps. As a result, yet another lamp was designed and locally produced in Paris. And very little is known about this lamp, not even the material it was made from, but it was definitely a panic solution rather than a thought-through design. Yeah. But we have a picture of it here, but we can just spot the lamp in this picture.
In total, Henningsen and Sørensen exhibited 10 different lamps at the exhibition, naming them System PH. System PH. Here you can see the Louis Poulsen exhibition stand with the Paris lamp, as well as the series of pendant and table lamps simply named model 1, 2 and 3.
Yeah.
That is simple. I like that. The display stands used to hang the pendant lamps are just amazing as well. Yeah. Henningsen was awarded a gold medal. Henningsen and Sørensen.
Nej, bara Henningsen.
Ooh. That's not very nice. Was awarded a gold medal for the presentation, and most critics were very impressed.
Yeah. And sadly, the actual lamps weren't as successful. Horrified Henningsen soon realized that the shiny silver metal was blinding. The light bulb reflected in the shiny metal as a thin stripe of light, and the rest of the shade was dark. And Henningsen saw the lamps for the first time, the actual lamps, when they came to Paris. So he hadn't seen them before. He had just seen the sketches.
And there was no time to fix it.
No time to fix it. So, what to do? You just exhibit them and, because of this problem, none of the lamps were a commercial success. But his collaboration with Louis Poulsen had just started. The following years, Henningsen launched his iconic 3-shade lamp system, but that's another story we've already talked about in a previous video. And we have a link in the description about this if you're interested to see this video.
You should check it out.
But this was our video about the Paris lamps.
Yes, it was.
I hope you found it interesting, and if you did, you should check out our previous videos.
That video.
Yeah, for example,
instance.
and a lot of other videos about Poul Henningsen.
Yes.
Yeah.
Thank you so much
Thank
for
you.
watching.